President-elect Donald Trump is spending Thanksgiving with family at his Palm Beach, Florida resort. He announced yesterday that charter school advocate Betsy DeVos will be nominated as Secretary of Education. She's the second woman to accept the cabinet-level job offer from Mr. Trump. Republicans, including former campaign rival Jeb Bush, are praising the choice. He calls DeVos an outstanding pick. Kris Van Cleave is following the Trump transition. Kris, good morning.
Good morning. President-elect Trump has reportedly been receiving fewer classified intelligence briefings than his predecessors. The Washington Post reports instead he's choosing to focus on filling his cabinet. Mr. Trump has previously said he would dissolve the Department of Education, but yesterday he named its secretary.
We've just finished a long and bruising political campaign. Emotions are raw and tensions just don't heal overnight.
In the spirit of Thanksgiving, President-elect Donald Trump released this short web video calling for Americans to come together after a bitter election year.
It's time to restore the bonds of trust between citizens, because when America is unified, there is nothing beyond our reach, and I mean absolutely nothing.
Mr. Trump announced 2 cabinet appointments yesterday, both women, neither of whom endorsed him for president. Longtime GOP donor Betsy DeVos was tapped to lead the Department of Education. A strong advocate for school voucher programs and charter schools, DeVos is against the voluntary national education standards known as Common Core, which Mr. Trump wants to abolish.
We will provide school choice and put an end to Common Core. We're bringing our education local.
South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley has accepted the nomination to be ambassador to the UN despite this thinly veiled swipe at Mr. Trump earlier this year.
During anxious times, it can be tempting to follow the siren call of the angriest voices. We must resist that temptation.
As an Indian American, Haley diversifies the president-elect's personnel picks, but lacks the foreign policy experience of previous UN ambassadors.
Donald Trump is a phony, a fraud.
Despite their tense history, 2012 GOP nominee Mitt Romney is still on the president-elect's shortlist for Secretary of State, much to the dismay of many loyalists.
I'm still very unhappy that Mitt did everything he could to derail Donald Trump.
And you have to list out all the things he said and think, gee, is this guy really going to be loyal?
Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani is also a favorite for Secretary of State, and Mr. Trump's former rival, Dr. Ben Carson, hinted he will head the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Mr. Trump is not expected to make any announcements today. Jeff?
Kris, thank you very much.